All right. Hello, health heads. Welcome and thank you for checking into this dose of the Healthcare Uprising. I'm your producer in the back, Jeremy Carr, here with your hosts in the front row, Heather Pierce. Hopefully I can talk better than that during the episode today.
We're a mess.
What is on our agenda today, Heather?
Today we're having Sally Hayes, CEO and founder of Matricos, on with us. Matricos is basically a network of providers and practitioners who serve women who are trying to get pregnant, are pregnant, or have recently had babies. So basically, along that whole kind of like maternal health.
The whole mom spectrum.
Yeah. So really cool stuff that she's doing, building a very niche kind of network and ecosystem for those providers working in that space, serving moms.
Cool. Growing new spaces. I always like to hear about that. So without further ado, let's jump into our conversation with Sally Hayes from Matricas.
Hi, and welcome to the Healthcare Uprising podcast. Today we have with us Sally Hayes, CEO and founder of Matricas. Welcome to the show, Sally.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and chat today.
Yeah, we're building quite a great network of people. So, yeah, it's like one thing leads to another with with the podcast and all of you great, awesome women coming on the show with all the cool stuff that you're doing.
We
And
try to get a referral from everyone who comes on and
yeah,
who we're going to interview next.
yeah, women's health is where it's at. So,
Yep.
so let's talk about what you're doing with Matricos. Share just a little bit about your background, what led you to establishing Matricos, and then kind of we'll get into all the things that you do there.
Great. I was a prenatal massage therapist for 26 years, and through working with pregnant, postpartum, and then also fertility clients, I continued to get asked for referrals for all sorts of things. Sometimes clients would go to a yoga class and feel like they were left out. So they wanted to know if there was someone who specializes in prenatal yoga. Sometimes I had seen people through 2 or 3 pregnancies, and now they're having fertility issues. So who did I recommend for a fertility doctor? So through this, I felt like it was my duty to run around town and find everybody and meet them. And I found something else there that everyone was also looking for referrals, specifically for reproductive health. Everyone was working so hard in their own individual practice, but didn't have a lactation consultant to refer to, or didn't have like a good go-to postpartum doula that they could recommend. So I decided, instead of having coffee with everybody one-on-one, let's just have a big old party in my office once a month with wine and cheese. So that's how Matricos was started. It was a very happy accident. And it's a lot cheaper than Google Ads to join as a member of Matricos. And you also,
Probably a lot more effective too.
Yeah.
it's a lot more effective. You get a lot of people who know you and actually get to know you and become, deeper in deeper relationships than just surface networking. So you have a lot of people out there referring on your behalf. But also you have a community of people that you can talk to and learn from. And it's really grown in such a beautiful way that I was absolutely not expecting.
Yeah, and it's great. When I think about the power of that community, having been, well, I'm still a mom. I'm I'm more in the bruh stage at this point. Um,
You're a teenager mom now, and
I am almost, yeah, almost entirely teenager mom. My youngest is about to turn 12.
and these days that's close enough.
Yeah. Yeah, strengthening the ma and matricos, right? Like I get that on ma. But have definitely been in like that area, right? Of where you're looking for all the things, for all the referrals. So many of us end up in these like Facebook groups, women always create community, which is great, but then you have to search for it and then you got to vet them. And one person says good things, the other person says bad things, and trying to like navigate those recommendations and referrals is like kind of overwhelming, right? When you're in the mix of it. So I love the concept of this because being able to go to like one place and say, okay, this is fully vetted providers. These are people that are working together, right? Like you already know, like they're already like partnering together. Is that kind of the feeling that you're trying to put out there for like for the patient, for the member, for the mom?
Exactly. You know that everyone is trusted
Mhm.
and you can find specifically who you're looking for and who would work with you best.
Mhm.
Um, it it seemed to me that we had so many different, like I personally had such a wide variety of clients that were looking for such different things that I couldn't just have one doula. I needed to have at least five so that we have options to choose from, right? Because somebody might be busy and maybe you have a pelvic floor therapist who comes to your house. Maybe they only have an office. Maybe that office is across town. Maybe, as people tend to do, you start nesting and you move and you need a whole new group. So having someone to go to, which is now our website, we have a searchable directory. Now you can go instead of Googling at 3 a.m. while you're breastfeeding, you can go actually find who works best for you. That was the solution to the issue that we were seeing.
Yeah, I love that. Now, and you, I believe you, if I recall, you started in LA, right?
Correct.
But you're on the East Coast now, and so are you like building it from kind of like city region? Like what does that look like right now in terms of building out this network?
Great question. I'm actually in LA right now today.
Okay.
I'm in a lot of different places. Earlier this year, I got the opportunity to go to New York, New Jersey, and Detroit and start creating communities there. And as soon as I left LA and went to one city, people started asking, "Can you come to my city? Can we do this here?" So we do have, we are now national. We also have people who run a US based business, but maybe they physically aren't here. Maybe they're living in the UK or they're living in Portugal or somewhere different. So it's been really exciting to have like Canadian members join. And
Yeah.
it quickly went from strictly Southern California to across the globe. And I think that's just a testament to how necessary this is. Providers need community. We talk about it takes a village, right, to for new and expecting parents. But we seem to forget that providers actually need a community. We need interdisciplinary education. We need to have a referral list. We need to have community, just to have people who understand the complexities of the work that we do also.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're building the network of these providers, these practitioners, but ultimately to serve the end user, right? The patient, the mom. But it also benefits them in that way. So it's kind of like you twofold kind of benefit going on here. So
Exactly. Originally, what I thought was, oh, I'll start a website called lapregnancy.com. We everyone who's working in pregnancy in Los Angeles.
uh-huh.
And we quickly blew past that. And because you can't talk about pregnancy without talking about postpartum, and you can't talk about any of it without talking about fertility, right?
Right.
Well, it all goes together in more of a cycle than a linear pattern. And the thing that I was really noticing was that providers needed their own community. So while we do have a provider directory that is open to the public and you can go on and search for users, really it's become evident that we are more of a provider focused um, community.
Okay.
So really, it's for providers to find other providers to refer people to more than people
Exactly.
going on finding their own.
Exactly. We do a
Okay.
lot of networking events. We do a lot of educational events that are provider facing. And in addition, I think the secondary action is really that if you are a new or expecting parent, that you can
Mhm.
find the providers.
Yeah.
Whereas I thought it was the other way around.
Ah,
It
but
is
there's an
more,
advantage, right? There's an advantage to a provider practitioner however we want to describe them in being in this network because of then the connections that they have that they can then pass down to their patient
It
that comes in their door.
it just sounds like a
Yeah.
scaled up version of the local networking groups
Hmm.
that people are in, like the local business people all meet up once a month and from the different
exactly.
industries to talk about what's going on in our town or what's going on with
But
this.
very niche.
Yeah, but this is, very specifically to the women's, whole
Hmm.
being a mom thing
Yeah.
from all angles,
It's
from
true. And,
from
I was in a
fertility
lot
to
of networking
postpartum.
groups,
Yeah.
and it wasn't beneficial for me as a prenatal massage therapist to be in these
Mm,
groups, meeting insurance salespeople and real estate agents. Like, they were lovely friends, and, it was great to know, but I
yeah.
needed OBs and fertility doctors and prenatal yoga instructors and midwives. Those were the people that I needed to network with.
So what's your process to get people on then? I mean, if just jumping into a new city, I mean, it sounds like it was very organic for you for the first go around, but all of a sudden getting on a plane to New York, like what's your process to actually, build your community there and actually vet these people
Or
and
build the village, right?
build the village? Yeah.
Build the village, totally. That's a great question because I'm still working on that. A lot of what are the benefit of being in this network is that everyone knows someone somewhere else. So a lot of people went to school in New York and then they came to LA to practice or something like that, right? So word of mouth, the first time we did an event in New York, I was shocked at how many people came up and said, I know one of your members. So and so is a dear friend of mine. And, I grew up with so and so. And so it really showed me how small the community is, even though we're going from coast to coast, and also how needed this network was. So I have a little bit of a process where I do some research and I have somebody compile some lists of lactation consultants, fertility coaches, pelvic floor therapists, etc., in that area, and I reach out and I start building relationships with them. And then we go to that city and we do an event. So that has been how I've done it so far. We have an ambassador in each of the cities that we work in, and we're expanding our ambassador program next year so that we can keep having events without me physically having to be there because I can't be everywhere all at the same time.
Sure.
So in that way, we're expanding, and we actually have a really interesting US tour coming up in the spring. So we're going to hit 30 cities
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
and really connect. And ultimately, the goal is to connect everyone throughout the US so that we can affect change in policy.
And
Hmm.
do you have uh a remote sort of aspect to it where there are things you can get straight through the like without having to be there in person as well, like more mental health stuff maybe or whatnot?
So we have a lot of providers who actually work virtually as well as in person. And on our searchable directory, that is something you can choose. As you may or may not know, there's a lot of care deserts, especially for reproductive health throughout the
Hmm.
US.
Yeah, we're in
Um,
northern Arizona. We know all about that.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. I won't get too deep into the politics of
Yeah.
hospitals closing and people having to
Uh-huh.
travel for several hours to give birth and all of that. But
I
um,
gave someone a 2 hour ride home from the hospital just last night.
Did you
yep,
really?
Yep,
Yeah.
all the way to
Okay.
Prescott.
There. It
yep.
happens. Rural America.
Yep.
We have a great member who lives in Prescott,
There you go.
Awesome.
who runs
You guys really are everywhere already.
a mom group. Yep, she has a community called Centerline Community, and it's a mom group of over 500 moms.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
wow.
Yeah, so we even have mom groups. We have a wide variety of practitioners in that way, and I am struggling to remember what the original question was.
Oh.
How much stuff you have available remote rather
Online.
than
Okay, yes. So actually, something that's become the heart of what we do is our weekly Zoom that I affectionately refer to as We Furl Wednesdays. So it's our referral hour, but we furl because we refer to each other. And I picked up through many networking groups that a lot of people go to networking groups to shove their business card in your face, and they had a me first approach. And that's just not who I am, and that's not my belief system. I firmly believe in community, and I believe you give to get versus get to give. So we take this approach where everyone goes around and says who you are and what you do and what your big ask is. So if you're a new practitioner and you're looking for clients, then you're putting the ask out for clients. Some people put the ask out for a celebrity to rep their brand. Some people put the ask out that they want to be on podcasts. Some put the ask out that they want to have people be on their podcasts. So it's such a wide variety. And while that person is speaking, everyone in the chat says how they can support that person.
I
They're
love
sending
that.
emails. They're saying, "Hey, I've got a podcast. I'd love to have you on. Let's get you
We,
on it."
we have a
We're
podcast.
yeah.
I think Sally's going to share that with her people.
I can
We'll
have,
take it.
yeah, I can have your next year full
All right.
email.
Bring it on.
Um, yeah, so a lot of this is just amplifying each other's reach and supporting each other in whatever way that you need to, because we are truly a community and it takes a village when you are building your family. It also takes a village when you're building your practice as
hmm
well.
Sure.
I'm curious too, like we talk a lot about women's health on this show. We talk a lot about like alternative health too, which is kind of like a rising, I would say, I don't know. There's rising interest in alternative health. I mean, mental health, certainly things like that. But like I think back, like I mentioned, my kids are almost 12 and 17. And so like I was always, I was always the one that kind of like did the quote unquote weird stuff, right? Like as a mom, right? Like I was very crunchy granola mom. All of the kind of, I don't know. I want to think about like I did Kundalini yoga when I was pregnant with my first, right? Like they're like, "Oh, you hippie." I'm like, "Yeah." Or like a doula, right? Was seemed like one of those kind of things that like, oh, but just bunch of hippie tree huggers do that kind of stuff. That stuff is becoming a little bit more mainstream. And even like not so much lactation consult. I think it's always been there, but like people are taking it more seriously. I think now, have you seen like a big trend and kind of an uptick in these providers and these different types of practitioners in like supporting maternal health because there is an interest that's growing and even prenatal yoga, the rise of yoga, all of those things.
Yes. And, thankfully, I got to practice in Los Angeles for a very long time. I was very spoiled at how much access we have to all the hippie stuff.
hmm
Uh, but something I did notice was that even though prenatal massage therapy had so much great evidence backing it, I could not get in rooms with people like OBs, for instance. I had such a hard time. My clients would come to me and say, "Oh, I just got back from my OB's appointment. And they said, don't massage my feet too hard." And
hmm
I would say, "Please, can you get me on the phone with that OB so that I can dispel this insane myth? Like, what are you talking about? Don't massage your feet too hard."
Right.
Also, I worked with
Yeah.
you through your whole first pregnancy and you
Like
had a
you were
very
fine.
easy labor. Do you not
Yeah.
remember?
I'm
So
really curious what they think is going to happen if you rub her feet too hard.
it's like one of those
Like, what?
crazy
Where does that
myths.
come from?
Listen, let me tell you this for
That's some
sure.
medieval stuff right there, man.
If there was an exit button on your foot, I'd be working in the hospital. Like there's
They'd be like, just bring Sally in.
I would be a millionaire. Are you kidding me? I would be
Yeah.
there and being like, "Boop, okay,
That's
next."
That's
Like
yeah.
great.
never have to induce anyone ever again.
That's
So
crazy.
while there are things that you have to be educated about in any
Sure.
profession, of course, there did seem to be this disconnect about what we as practitioners knew about other practitioners' scope of practice and what they actually do and what they don't. So a big part of getting everyone in the room is so that we can learn what everyone does. I didn't know that you could get pelvic floor therapy while pregnant. I learned about it for postpartum. So
hmm
at 6 weeks, you should see a pelvic floor therapist. The first time I mean, it's probably been within the last decade that I even heard about pelvic floor therapy being a thing, right? So it was really,
Same.
and then finding out that
You
you
should do some
can
on that.
and should see someone through pregnancy is super exciting, right? So now I'm empowered with the information that I can educate my clients as to why they need to see this person and who they need to see.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just it's like the appetite for knowing all of the things that are out there. Like that's just growing. And so therefore building a network like this is really kind of part of that growth, right? It helps. I would think it would actually help. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, like enhance, catapult, whatever, move it into the kind of down that path a little bit quicker.
Exactly. Like,
Hmm.
for instance, if you had a chiropractor who said, you were like, should I get a doula? And they were like, oh, yeah, you could get a doula. It seems like they help a lot.
Hmm.
Versus saying, oh, yes, I've got a list of 5 doulas that we recommend and we
Yeah,
know personally. That's a very different referral.
right.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah, you're gonna probably make a phone call
Yeah.
in the second version of that.
Exactly. I'll do an email introduction between you two and let you take it
Yeah.
from
Wow. Yeah, there's so much good stuff that's out there that I think so many new moms or well, heck, even me as I'm, I'm more advanced parent at this point, but like that you just didn't know about because nobody either talked about it or it just wasn't in your, orbit in some way. Um, but it could have been, right?
right. The amount of
So,
times I've heard people say, I wish I'd known about you when I was pregnant.
oh, I say it all the time, just
Yeah.
from the show, from all the cool stuff that everyone's doing. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
This would have been great when I was having kids, but now I
Exactly.
Where
wait.
were you 20 years
Well,
ago?
now I'm looking at it. I'm like, well, we're creating a much better ecosystem for parents today, and like ultimately, maybe if my children do have kids, right? For my grandbabies. I can't even believe I'm saying that word. Heather, stop talking.
Exactly.
You're
Well,
not
and the
50
way I
yet.
view, yeah, the way I view it is like Matricos has a 3-step approach. The step number one is we build this very strong, robust community.
Hmm.
Step number two is we educate the public about what is out there and what access they have. We also have members that are nonprofits that actually pay for services for people who
Mm.
can't afford it. So we also want to close the gap there. And we highlight a lot of virtual work as well, so that if you do live in one of those care deserts, you actually do have access that you may not have known about. And then the third piece is we are going to change policy in this country.
Ah, yes. Let's explore that because considering the state of the state of affairs here in
Yeah,
It's
with
rough.
what's coming right now.
yeah, it's kind of scary, there's some really big not great things that could be happening or are already happening. So in terms of policy, because that's a huge deal, right? Like getting policy changed. I'd love to hear more about that. I mean, I'm so invested into healthcare for women and just in general, from like a public health perspective, what
Absolutely.
policy can do to change things for a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah. And I think, first off, I just want to say I'm not writing policy. I'm not an advocacy group.
Hmm.
We support advocacy groups. We want
Yeah.
to strengthen our community to stand behind people who are already doing the work. There are so many people doing excellent work throughout the US. And I don't think that we need to be reinventing the wheel when every state is working to get doulas covered under Medicare,
Hmm.
right? Let's find the most successful one and amplify that across the board. Why are we all trying to reinvent the wheel here? So I think that people miss the point of building the community first when they're building advocacy groups and policy change. You have to have people standing behind you. And if we can build this community so that we are so strong that I can send one email and people can either financially support or lend their signature or go speak to Congress about why these changes need to be made, then I think it's a much easier process. It sounds like it's going to take a little bit longer, but I mean, at this point, like,
All we can do is fight, man.
it's
That's
true.
all you can do at this point.
It's
Yeah.
true. And there are so many community fights, there's so many
Mhm.
statewide fights, there's so many national fights that we all need to be involved in. And I think we
Mhm.
could move a lot faster if we move together.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and it's making me think about too one of our earlier episodes too, where we met with Mama Glow. Um, yeah,
That was Latham Thomas.
Latham Thomas.
So
Yeah,
that's 10 and 11.
and she talked a lot about kind of. dabbled into the policy piece, but we talked actually quite a bit about doulas being covered by Medicaid. Obviously Medicaid's low income, have access issues, always have, not the greatest health outcomes because unfortunately, where you live, how much money you make does actually impact whether you have better outcomes or not. It shouldn't. It does. But like having a doula can be a game changer for pregnant moms. I mean, 50% of babies are born under Medicaid. So
Yep.
to have, yeah, I mean,
And that a lot of that just got cut.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So,
and there's also medical racism. So to have a
mhm,
doula there supporting you can actually make much better outcomes.
yeah,
I think we talk about the medical racism enough, but Black women in this country die up to 9 times that of white women. There's a whole bunch of great statistics out there. Not great statistics, but great
right.
information about the statistics, which is unfortunate that we're even having to have these discussions about the color of your skin changing your outcomes for
Yeah,
your birth.
it's madness and it shouldn't be that way. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad, honestly, but
It
good,
is.
good to know that there's lots of, great people out there in organizations that are doing the work to change that. So,
Absolutely. And that's something that we're really passionate about too, is making sure that people have access to culturally competent care
mhm,
so that you have a provider who's working with you who understands your specific needs.
yeah.
And sometimes you want a provider who looks like you to
Mhm.
help support you because they understand the struggles that you're going through further to just achieving pregnancy, having a successful pregnancy, and having a successful birth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
I I will say at this point, as a white male, I have the opposite problem. If I walk into a doctor's office and they look like me, it's like this isn't who I want to see. I really am at that
That's
point.
also true.
I would much rather see a brown woman than a white man in a
Exactly.
doctor's office right now
Exactly.
because they're gonna care
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
get
so
myself in trouble.
yeah.
I mean,
Not that
it's
you go to
something
the
that
We're
doctor
we
not going to
often.
get any more doctors on this show.
right, right. It's something that we need to talk about bluntly and
Yeah.
openly. And I think a lot of people tend to skirt around this issue, but the fact is it's medical racism. It's not that Black women have worse outcomes genetically. It has nothing to do with that. It's the way they're being treated, and it comes from deep-rooted racism and misogyny in this country. And so
Yep.
um, you can't fix what you can't name. So that's why I'm such an
Hmm.
advocate of speaking
Yeah,
about
I
it.
mean, it sucks to talk about, but if we don't talk about it, it never goes away.
That's
Right.
right. Well,
We got to face the demons at some point, you know?
yeah. Well,
Exactly.
we like to talk about uncomfortable things on the show.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, I like to consider us pretty progressive in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, especially in healthcare, right? And I would even say in like the current kind of climate here in the United States right now too, healthcare is very, I mean, it is like top priority for Americans, at least. We're thinking about it. Healthcare is everywhere. Healthcare is such a huge part of who we are. Particularly with maternal health and women's health. Women's health is definitely having, I feel, we're finally kind of getting a platform. And there's a lot of focus on us because we do make up half of the population. So,
More so now,
as it
actually.
should. Yeah.
The
So
numbers swung. There's more women than men now.
is there now? Okay. There could be some percentages. You know what? We're getting louder. That's that's for
That's true.
sure.
That's true. Yeah, and
So,
if you want to have better birth rates, you have to have better birth outcomes.
mhm.
That's just logical fact.
Yeah.
We have care deserts and we have fertility issues. Infertility is rising every year.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of really great people working to support more access to fertility treatments and to educate the public about how to maximize your fertility as well. So, I have the privilege of meeting wonderful humans who are doing such great work in all of these fields. And I really want to get everyone on board with knowing that there are options out there for you. And if it's that you physically aren't close to a birth center, you might be able to work with someone virtually to support you through that. During COVID, doulas weren't allowed in the hospitals. You got one
Mm.
support person. So doulas were doing virtual work through iPhones, which
Yeah, it's crazy.
is great. Like, okay, great. That's a new way to access
Yeah.
information. It shouldn't have to be that way. But you could be a doula virtually supporting people throughout the US.
Yeah.
So sometimes it does, sometimes problems open up bigger solutions that we had not yet looked for.
Yeah, COVID definitely did that.
Oh, it's a different
Absolutely.
world, man.
Yeah, for good
It
or for
really is.
worse.
That was the end. That was the end of the world, and now we're in a different one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, it's a never going to be the same as it was
No.
before.
There's a lot of good that came out of it, as crappy as it
Yes.
was.
Every end has good and bad. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all trade-off, man. But
Right.
I call it what you will. But we're in a different world than we were before.
Yeah.
It's true.
And I'm curious with what you're doing with Matricos. And also you got to tell us what it means. But we got to make sure we understand what that means. Um, and you start how long ago did you start building this?
I started originally in 2019 and
2019. So the before
before
times.
COVID,
In
in
the
the
before
before
time.
times. And I really did not expect it to be like this. Honestly, I did it selfishly to bring
Mhm.
in more referrals for me to have more clients. That's all I was thinking about. And when I
Yeah.
found that other people wanted the same thing and that we could collaborate together, like, hell, great. And then obviously during the pandemic, we weren't meeting in person as often. But it also highlighted the need to meet together in person and how we actually really liked hanging out with each other and we had this need for social interaction with each other. So as soon as we could start joining together again, we did. And from there, it just took off and became wildly successful.
Yeah.
I it didn't have a name for a long time. And then some people pushed me to workshop a name and we put some things in place. I didn't like it, got rid of that, got another one, didn't like that. And then I everyone just said, "Well, we've got to have a name. We've got to have a name." And I was like, "But the name isn't here yet." I don't know how to explain that to people except it had not come to me yet. And I knew that I would know it when it happened. And one night in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m., I sat straight up and I heard the voice that was like, "Look now." And I was just looking through stuff on my phone. And I knew I wanted it to be like the name of a goddess. I'm very into mythology. I really like symbols, things like that. So I wanted it to be something, but Aphrodite is overused, and a lot of the things that have to do with like fertility and conception were pretty overplayed at that point. So I just started Googling and I found this collective of Hindu goddesses that rule conception, childbirth, and children's health, and they were called the Matrikas.
That sounds very fitting.
I'd never heard of a
Spot on.
collective of goddesses before having their own name.
Yeah.
It's like the muses. There you go.
Exactly. Exactly. And Ma is the component of pretty much everywhere in the world. Mother, mama, it's the
Mhm.
first sound. And Matrika is also the root of a mantra. So it has a lot of meaning um, as the like conception for not just conception for pregnancy, but the conception of a mantra, the conception of a word. It's like the creation energy before you create a mantra.
Okay.
It's like the whole mindset behind the thing comes from the name.
Exactly.
And it fits in the way that I do like that you're using a potentially global technology that is non-local to create individual local networks of people in the real world.
There you go.
It has that other aspect to it, kind of building your own myth in a way.
Right? Or your
You know
new
what I mean?
world. Your new,
Yeah.
I
But
I
it
often
it's
implore people to think about the third thing, right? Because we're so
mm,
focused on like, here's the problem, here's the solution.
Uh-huh.
And I want people to think more forward about what would it look like if everyone had access to the care. What
Hmm.
would that world look like?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that. I hadn't really thought about that.
I bet it would smile more in that world. It would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love the name. I actually I studied Greek mythology in college, and so through my art history program.
Yep.
Um yes, I have an art history degree, which
And I was an English major, and
has
that's how you end up on a podcast.
yeah, which has strangely served me well over the course of my life, but I love Greek mythology. And I love that it's Hindu, actually. I think that's really interesting. But so as you're building this thing, so you've been building it for a few years, and I want to talk about the build your village aspect. I don't think we've dived into that too much, and I know that's a pretty core element of what you're doing. Can you kind of expand on that a little bit more?
So, Build Your Village is our annual event that has happened in Los Angeles for the last couple of years. Next year, we're planning on expanding that to a few more cities as well. And you know how everyone says it takes a village, but nobody tells you where the village is or who's in the village or how do you find it,
It just
right?
magically appears, doesn't
Exactly.
it?
So, this is basically our directory come to life. So it's similar to any convention that you would go to, but the practitioners are the ones that have booths. So you meet people, you can come in. Literally, the feedback we get is, I met my team. I met so many people, and we want you to meet everyone that you're looking for and people you didn't even know that you needed,
Mm, that's awesome.
lactation consultants, um, cloth diapering services, your fertility doctors, your fertility acupuncturists. We want to make sure everyone's there so that you can meet them face to face because the time to meet people is not when you're 48 hours postpartum and you're still in the diaper and you haven't slept, right? The time to
Yeah.
meet people is before. So we're all about preparation as well. I think it's very important to plan your team for whatever stage you're going through. You need to prepare for conception before you're actively trying to conceive, prepare for pregnancy before you're actively trying to conceive, and prepare for postpartum while you're pregnant. So
Mhm.
we're very big advocates of meeting people, forming relationships with them. And then when you need them, you can just make a quick appointment. You already have the groundwork laid.
You know what just popped in my head as you're describing this, and I'm looking at it on your website. I'm like, it's like a wedding expo,
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
it's for women who are trying to get pregnant or building a family, because you don't have that,
I was going to say
right?
it's like a job fair, but yours is much more apt. Yeah.
A wedding expo,
Yeah. A
right?
wedding
Find
expo.
your photographer, find your caterer, find your venue,
Exactly.
try on
Exactly.
wedding dresses.
Exactly. And it's so important because, there are things that you don't think about. You don't think about your newborn photographer, right? But if you met your photographer at Build Your Village, then you have their card. And when it's time for maternity photos and newborn photography and family photos, you already have that person and you have already made a relationship with them. So I don't want anybody going to Google and searching, photographers near me when they could have the option to actually meet them in person.
Yeah.
Someone who's actually specifically specialized in the baby photos thing too, you know.
Well, and not to mention too, you might show up there and not and meet people who provide services that you didn't know that you needed or that like even existed, right? Like just
Like if you
having,
walk in there not even knowing what a doula is,
yeah, you might walk out with
it
a
could change
doula
your
on your
life.
arm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or
I love
thinking
it.
maybe I don't need a doula, and then you meet a doula who helps
Yeah.
educate you about what they do. And maybe you didn't want a birth doula, but you really want a postpartum doula, and you didn't know that was an option.
Yeah.
You can see the kind of built-in benefit for the practitioners who get involved too. And is it like a subscription sort of thing for them? Is it a monthly or annual subscription kind of thing or
For our members, we have either a monthly or an annual membership fee, and then that gives you access to having a directory listing. You get to join us each week for our referral Wednesdays, and you get complimentary admission to our in-person events, wherever they may be. And then you also get a lot of other perks like first opportunity to be involved in Build Your Village, first opportunity to be on any podcasts or any panels or anything like that. We now have companies that come to us that are looking for speakers. So if you're a member, we have a membership email, and these companies come to me and ask for whatever they're looking for. Hey, we need a pelvic floor therapist. You would really be surprised at how many brands. We also have brands that are members, but we have a lot of brands reach out to us that are looking for someone to kind of review their product.
Hmm.
Um, and like rep their products and give a review or things like that. So we're really trying to connect both sides of that community as well. And we think it's really important to have brands as members because people are out there Googling products as well.
Hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like a
And
form of influence or
they tend to
marketing.
have deeper pockets too. So if
Yeah.
you get them involved in stuff, you can have bigger and better events and things like
Exactly.
that. Just put up their sponsorships and yeah.
Exactly. And we can learn a lot from them too.
Yeah.
We often have we have members that are postpartum protein powder or um, fertility supplements for him and her. So a lot of times we will have them come to our in-person meetups, and you might go home with a goodie bag with like
Oh,
products from some of our brands, or they might set up a smoothie station for protein powder, different things like that, or if they have like a beverage or a food. We work a lot with postpartum meal delivery services. We're actually having a meetup in Los Angeles that's a very small, it's only 20 people, but we have a new postpartum soup brand that's coming to do a tasting before they launch in Los Angeles.
oh,
So we do a lot of partnerships
I
with
That's
love
them.
that.
interesting.
I actually just got a soup delivery at home from my aunt and my uncles because my husband and I have both been had surgeries, and it was the I can't remember the name of it. It's the coolest thing. They're out of Utah. Um
They deliver soup?
yes, yes, I just got it. I wish I knew the name of it.
The
Anyway,
most random
Let me
thing
know how
ever.
it
it's
is.
yeah, I will. I'll pass it on and let you know. I love these food delivery services. They're great for postpartum. How many times have we done meal trains? But people, they don't, not everyone likes to cook. And if you're my husband, sorry, anyone who delivered food to us, he doesn't like other people's cooking. So he'd much rather get it from like
Pre-COVID,
real food. Like,
no one was delivering soup.
yeah,
See? It's a totally new world,
like
man.
COVID
Soup
changed
delivery was
everything.
not a thing before 2020. I guarantee you there was no soup.
I
It's
love
totally,
soup, right?
yeah, me too. It's like the perfect food.
It really
It's
is, though, yeah.
complete. It has everything. It's
Yeah,
hydrating. It's
yeah.
genius. Yeah,
Yeah,
we,
this company even sent rolls and cookies with it.
oh,
And
that's
a
really,
and a ladle, like a real ladle. I was like, "What? This is amazing."
I love it. That's so
I
smart.
know. I
Yeah.
know. Anyway, that's the Build Your Village, just that event sounds so amazing. And so you're doing it in LA. I'm like, I need to put this date on my calendar and maybe Jeremy and I need to show up.
I've driven
We're
LA plenty of
currently
times.
working on next year's plan and next year.
Okay. All right. Well, you let us know from the media perspective. Maybe we
At,
can we can
at
show up
some
and help.
point, we got to start doing some appearances here.
Yeah, we do. We
We've
do.
talked about it for a few different things, and we never make it happen.
I know
We're
it's
gonna have to
coming.
make it happen.
We're building the future. So you're doing it in LA, but you said you're going to be doing it in other cities too. So that's
We're
coming with kind of these new networks that you're building out right now.
we're looking at New York and Atlanta for next year to
Nice.
expand and do it there. Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, that's so exciting.
Those are big towns.
They
Yep,
are.
Good way to
they
start.
are.
Get the hubs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we'd like to be in small towns too, as well. So hopefully that will be in the future.
And if you can start with the city and then spread from there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I feel like here in Arizona, like Phoenix would make sense, right? And
Start
then
in
you kind of
Phoenix.
spider web out into like the smaller communities.
Right. Yeah. Probably not having something in Prescott or Jerome over there would make a lot of
No.
Northern Arizona is one place. You,
Yeah.
you you would have to like Prescott and Sedona and Flagstaff
Yep.
and all those even Kingman and
Northern
stuff.
Arizona.
It's all
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah,
Where,
totally.
Prescott's 100 miles from here, but it's the same for here.
Yeah.
It's the same
Hey,
thing.
people will drive an hour and 15 minutes to go to Trader Joe's
Yeah.
in Prescott. Just
Yeah.
saying.
You had mentioned earlier,
Flagstaff
like
is getting a Trader Joe's, by the way.
Oh,
I mean to tell you about that after.
this is
I
important
have
stuff.
inside information.
I love that. You had asked me earlier about I totally lost my train of thought. We were talking about
Trader Joe's is so
how it was
distracting.
like
Yeah.
leaving LA and going to new cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I went to New York and did an event, I was so nervous that they were going to be like, who is this? Thinking she's coming in to tell us, what we need to do. And everyone was so wonderful. It was the exact same as having an event in LA. And then we went to Detroit, and it was the exact same as being in New York and New Jersey and Atlanta. I just had a coffee meetup in Athens, Georgia the other day, and it was the
Nice.
exact same. Like people are the same everywhere, and we all have the same mission, no matter whether we're working in fertility, pregnancy, or postpartum. Everyone is very passionate about their work and wants to be connected in this community. So I've been very excited about exploring new places, big or small, and meeting people throughout the US.
Yeah. Well, I love it. I think it's amazing. Thank you for building it. I
Yep.
really, truly wish that you were around back when I was having my kids, but now I'm just looking for, mental health support and dealing with teenagers.
Yep,
Stuff like
we
this
have
is
that
where it's
too.
going.
All right.
We're
I
always
think
postpartum.
This
the,
is true.
these niche places to find,
Yeah.
everything you need for this genre of healthcare is a cool new wave going on, I think. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it
I
is.
agree. I agree.
It's
Yeah,
good
I was
stuff.
shocked that no one had done it when
Yeah.
Right?
we started
Yeah.
forming it. I
Well,
was
that's
like,
coming. I think in 10 years, it's going to be all kinds of these things. Like when you have, okay, this is my issue that I'm looking for, and you find the network for that. And I think they'll be there as we go along.
Yeah.
But
Now
yeah,
that
I
we
think
have
you're
more
on the front of the
options.
wave. I definitely think you're on the front of the wave.
Cool.
I agree. And you know what I think it is too is we've talked about the pandemic several times. I think the pandemic really highlighted our need for community.
Hmm.
And so I think what we're seeing right now is a pull towards being in community with each other. And that's really
Yeah.
the basis of what we do.
And
Yeah.
the not just using the internet to build online communities, but actually bring it into the real world and start getting together in real life again.
In-person
Because that's something we got
connection.
away from, and we've gotten really good at the building the stuff online now. But now I think that's another part of it is where the world has finally come back to we have to get together in person in real
Yeah.
life. We can't just live on our computers in our own house and never go outside
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this is great. Like this is the integration of those two things. You can build the foundation and the structure online and then bring everybody together in real life and really, make it grow and make
Best
it
of
do
both
what it's
worlds.
gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I,
really the integration of the two is our future. Like that's what the future needs to be,
Hmm.
and
in
I have
everything.
struggled with that for a long time. Like, should I just be online so that we can reach more people? And it's like, no, we still need the hyper local events. There's something undefined about being in person that you
Hmm.
cannot replicate. But I also walk into rooms sometimes with people who've been members for years, and this is the first time I've met them in person.
Oh,
And
wow.
they're always like, "This is the first time we're meeting," and I'm like, "That can't be true. I see you every week." It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but
Well, that's
yeah,
why,
like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why Heather and I are in the same room for this podcast.
Yeah.
That's why we try really, really hard. Like we're over 60 episodes recorded and we have been in the same room for every single one of them. At some point, I'm sure it's going to come to a point we're going to have to record remote and we're going to not like it because
yep.
the energy of just being in the same room makes us better at this. Like it won't be as good of an
Human
episode.
connection is
Yeah.
very important.
Like there's a reason why we do this in the same room.
Yep.
Yep.
And even today, a lot of our, like I'd say half our guests come on, they're like, are you guys actually in the same room?
Yeah.
Because it's surprising to people that we actually are. But that's part of our dynamic on this podcast.
Yeah.
And like it's how we get our energy. We get in the same room and for at least 10 minutes before the show starts. And
My
yeah,
PSA, any young people that are listening right now, Leave your house.
Yeah, go outside.
Go
To
outside.
people in real life.
Touch
At least invite
people.
someone over.
Have a random conversation with a random stranger. And
Amazing what
you will
get
talk
from it.
about something. You'll be like, wow, I never even thought I'd talk about that in my life.
Yeah.
I do it for a living with the
Yeah.
taxi driving. It's great. I do it
Well,
every
now that we've fully digressed from our conversation and we really need to wrap up this conversation because we like talking because we're like, I don't know, Gen X and stuff.
We-
So
we had some crazy tangents in this one. I'm actually I'm looking forward to hearing this one again. I'm not gonna
no,
lie.
we tangent all the time. But with that, let me I want to give you a chance to share how can somebody find you online, learn more about becoming a part of your network, attending one of the Build Your Village events, social media. Tell us all the things where to find you.
Exactly. So our website is We Are Matricas, WeAreMatrikas.com. And Instagram, we are very active on Instagram. It's we.r.matricas. And I'm getting more involved in LinkedIn. Instagram, I'm definitely there.
Cool.
LinkedIn, I'm getting there under Sally Hayes. So you
Okay.
can find us there and reach out to me. You can reach out through the website. I'm very friendly. I like to chat with everyone. If you are a fertility, pregnancy, or postpartum professional who's interested in joining our community, you can join right through the website. I personally vet everyone. And if you are someone who is on your reproductive health journey and looking for anyone, feel free to go to our directory. There's a provider directory right on our website, and you can check out anyone and contact them directly through the website.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sally, for coming on. This has been a great conversation, and I love what you're doing. So, and
Thank
I
you.
hope that we can support you in some way and continue to connect and maybe partner. You never know.
We'll
You
get
never
all
know.
your members on our podcast at some point.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
Bring
Thank
bring
you
it
so much
on.
for having me. This has been really fun.
Thanks for joining us on the Healthcare Uprising. Make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons before you go, and take a moment to think of a friend and hit that share button. You can find us on all the major audio platforms, and we've got video on YouTube and Patreon, patreon.com/healthcareuprising, if you want to watch us in action.
You can also find us on social media on LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Facebook. Just search Healthcare Uprising to find us. And if you're a new company or a creator with a cool new product for the healthcare space, or if you're someone with a personal healthcare journey and you'd like to share it with us here at The Uprising, please email us at healthcareuprising@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you about coming on the show. That's all for this dose of Healthcare Uprising. Till the next time, keep looking for the good in the world, because sometimes it's where you least expect it.
This has been a Shut Up production.